It was a chilly December evening in New York City. Donald Trump, wrapped in a tailored camel coat and his signature red tie, stepped out of Trump Tower. The air was crisp, and the holiday lights glittered along Fifth Avenue. He was heading to a charity gala but decided to take a brief walk to clear his mind. As he passed a small park, something caught his eye, a young boy sitting alone on a bench, clutching a thin, worn blanket. Trump paused, glancing at the boy who looked no older than 10. His face was pale, his hands red from the cold. A cardboard sign lay next to him, reading, "Homeless. Hungry. Please help." Trump's steps slowed, and he approached the boy with a furrowed brow. "Hey there," Trump said gently, kneeling down to meet the boy's gaze. "What's your name?" The boy looked up, startled, his wide brown eyes filled with fear and exhaustion. "Ethan," he replied softly. "Ethan, where are your parents?" Trump asked, his tone careful and kind. "Don't have any," Ethan muttered, looking down. They passed away last year. I've been on my own since." Trump's heart tightened. He couldn't imagine a child enduring such hardship. "How long have you been out here?" "A couple of months," Ethan said, his voice barely audible. "I've been trying to find work, but nobody wants to hire a kid." Trump stood up, pulling out his phone. "Stay right here, Ethan," he said firmly. "We're going to fix this." He stepped a few feet away and called his assistant, Margaret. "Margaret, I need you to find a child shelter or a trusted foster care organization, fast. And send someone from my security team here immediately with warm clothes and food." "On it, Mr. Trump," Margaret replied without hesitation. Returning to Ethan, Trump sat down beside him on the bench. "Help is on the way," he said, his voice reassuring. "But for now, let's get you warmed up." He took off his scarf and wrapped it around Ethan's neck, then handed him a $100 bill. "Get yourself a hot drink from that coffee cart over there." Ethan hesitated, then took the money with a shy smile. "Thank you, sir." Moments later, a sleek black SUV pulled up, and a member of Trump's security team stepped out with a bag of clothes and a thermos of hot cocoa. Ethan quickly changed into the warm jacket, gloves, and hat provided. Soon after, a representative from a reputable children's organization arrived. Her name was Sarah, and her kind demeanor immediately put Ethan at ease. "Ethan," she said, kneeling to his level, "we're going to take you to a safe place where you'll have food, a bed, and people to take care of you." Ethan looked up at Trump, his eyes brimming with tears. "Why are you helping me?" Trump placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "Because no child should have to face the world alone." Sarah led Ethan to the SUV, and Trump watched as the boy climbed in, clutching the thermos of cocoa. As the car drove away, Trump turned to his assistant, who had just arrived. "Margaret, make sure our foundation supports his care. I want updates on his progress." "Of course, Mr. Trump," Margaret replied. Trump lingered in the park for a moment, reflecting on the encounter. The city was alive with holiday cheer, but it was easy to forget how many people slipped through the cracks. He thought of the millions spent on decorations and festivities, wondering how much of it could be redirected to help those in need. With renewed determination, he made a mental note to revisit his foundation's plans for the coming year. That evening, as Trump arrived at the gala, he mingled with other prominent figures, but his thoughts kept returning to Ethan. Between speeches and handshakes, he pulled Margaret aside. "Let's organize a holiday drive," he said. "Clothes, food, toys. Something big. I want every homeless child in the city to feel the warmth of the season." Margaret nodded. "Consider it done, Mr. Trump." By the next morning, plans were already in motion. Trucks filled with donations began circulating the city, delivering essentials to shelters and community centers. Trump personally visited one of the distribution sites, where he helped hand out gifts to children. When he spotted a familiar face in the crowd, his heart lifted. It was Ethan, now bundled up and smiling, surrounded by other kids. "Mr. Trump!" Ethan called out, running up to him. "Thank you for everything. Sarah found me a place to stay, and I'm going to start school next week." Trump crouched down, placing a hand on Ethan's shoulder. "I'm proud of you, Ethan. Keep working hard, and remember, when you're in a position to help someone else, do it." Ethan nodded earnestly. "I promise." As Trump walked away, the sound of children's laughter filling the air, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. In the grand scheme of things, it was a small gesture. But for Ethan and others like him, it meant the world. And for Trump, it was a reminder of what truly mattered, making a difference, one life at a time. Later that night, as Trump looked out over the city from his penthouse, he couldn't help but smile. The holiday lights below seemed brighter than ever, reflecting the warmth of a community coming together. In the quiet of that moment, he made a silent vow to always use his influence to create ripples of change, proving that even the smallest acts of kindness could illuminate the darkest corners. This story always reminds me how even a small act of help can change someone's life. If we all do what we can, the world can become a much better place. You too, reach out to those around you, because sometimes the smallest steps make the biggest difference. I hope this story has inspired you. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. See you in the next video, and take care.